Happy Friday. Olivia DO7 here early. I love it. Thanks for joining. I know it's been a while since I've done a live, so I'm excited to get this one started. And this one's actually a special live. You'll see the little poster that got wet already in the background there. So in case you guys don't know, Mr. Beast he posted a video today. He may have done a live, I don't know yet. But I saw his video, so it's a bunch of us YouTubers coming together for, it's hashtag Team Water, and the group, I think, is Water Aid, and what they do is provide fresh water all across the world, and so they're doing this massive YouTuber campaign for getting people fresh water, which is just super cool, and it's going through the month of August, and so I wanted to do this tie-dye party specifically to hopefully get some donations to teamwater.org. There's the QR code there, and I'm actually going to post a link in the chat. So what we're gonna do today is start with a sweatshirt that I'm gonna tie-dye. Here, let me pin this while I talk. There we go. Okay, so they sent out a bunch of sweatshirts and t-shirts out to everyone, and I am going to tie-dye that sweatshirt, which is currently soaking in the bin right there, but I'll grab it in just a second. And I thought it'd be really fun that if you donate, I'll write your name on the sweatshirt. So I'll write down everyone's names. And then after I'm done tie-dyeing it, I'll put it in fabric paint or fabric marker. And so it'll be written all over the sweatshirt, like all the different donations. So I think that'll be really cool. So either let me know in the chat if you've donated, and I'll also have my tab, so the link that I just put in the chat, that will also keep track of the donations, and I'll keep checking every once in a while to see those, but also let me know in the chat if you've donated so then I can add your name to the sweatshirt. But I'm really excited about this campaign. I think it's just super cool, and specifically doing tie-dyeing because obviously to tie in with water, and we're obviously very lucky. It's something we don't really think about, but we're very lucky to have fresh and clean water, and so that's not all the case all across the world. So I think it's $1 can get a person clean water for an entire year. And then like $20 obviously would be decades. And so pretty crazy that like $1 donation makes that big of a difference. So it'd be super cool if y'all could donate to this cause. Again, it's going all month long of August. So throughout August, I'll be adding names to the sweatshirt as we go. So it's not like you have to do it right now, but I'll keep track of the donation feed and get everyone's names who donate onto this sweatshirt. So that is what we are going to start with, is this sweatshirt. So I'm going to attempt to get it out of the bin. You can see I already got water like on the poster and dripped it, but let me grab it. So we got sent, yeah, watch me just spray water all over the sign as well. So we got sent all of these like sweatshirts and shirts, and I was really worried it wasn't going to arrive. So we got told about this campaign, I don't even know if it was like a month ago. It was like within the last couple weeks. And so the team was really good about getting all of these sweatshirts and shirts out to us. And I thought it was perfect, just kick off the day of the first day of the campaign doing this tie-dye sweatshirt. And I thought it'd be really fun, and it's Friday. And so we thought we could do like a little tie-dye party here, starting with this sweatshirt. And then I also have a bunch of towels that I got last weekend that I can tie-dye as well. But I've been really into ice dyeing lately. I think I posted that video. I mean, I feel like it's weeks ago at this point. But here we go, let me put this there. So we are gonna do this one as an ice dye. And let me grab my paper towels. I am already soaked, just grabbing that. Okay, so how fun is this sweatshirt? And like we all got shirts and stuff as well. I opted for the sweatshirt because I have so many shirts that I'm like, I'll take the sweatshirt. It seemed fun. So how cute is this? So the whole campaign is hashtag Team Water. So you can see the logo there, and then it's a full hoodie. And then on the back, same thing. We've got hashtag Team Water. Yeah, so how fun is that? Okay, so now the question is ultimately how I want to tie this. Ooh, let me try and get, so I got a little light that will hopefully brighten at least a little bit. I don't know how much that's doing, but hopefully that'll at least get like more of this bright. Yeah, you can see like it's a little brighter there because I know with the last lives it hasn't been great. So got that light. Okay. So I'm thinking what I want to do for this one for an ice dye is I love the theme of like blues. And so like sticking with water and everything and sticking with that whole theme. And so what I'm going to do is do this ice dye. So it's called Nebula from Jacquard. So this is the dye that we're going to use. And it's like a pre-made mix that's made specifically for ice dyeing. In this color Nebula specifically, I mean, you can see the colors here. It goes into like blues and purples and different tones. So I think that would probably look really nice on the blue sweatshirt. I've got the whole set of these guys, but I think this one would probably be the best because it's, again, just like adding to the blues and purples. Why is it called ice dye? So you'll see why it's called ice dye. So we're using actual ice to make the pattern. So we're going to cover the whole thing in ice and then pour the dye on top. And as the ice melts, it like makes it flow into these crazy like watercolor patterns. Yeah, so it's pretty neat. And so normally what you do, and like historically before these specific dyes were made, is you would use just normal like tie-dyeing dyes and sprinkle them all over. And now they've actually made these ones that, like, you can see what's called breaking is it breaks into these different colors. So it'll like automatically, without having to use different color dyes, it'll break into like the blues and purple tones, which is pretty neat. I think I can also tag this one as well. So, and I do have a coupon code for this as well. So this, you can get 20% off from Jacquard with code ABCrafty. There you go. So yeah, there's Nebula tagged as well if y'all are interested in that one. Okay, let me refresh this. Okay, cool. Okay, so what I'm thinking is doing just like a simple design for this. So I'm a big fan of just the basic scrunch dye, like not having to worry about a pattern or anything. And I personally really like it for ice dyeing specifically because it like just gets it to flow wherever. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. So as I mentioned, like at the beginning, it was sitting in this bucket right here, and that is full of soda ash and water. So it's just a solution of soda ash and water. And what the soda ash does is helps it, so it's a fixing agent and it helps the dye adhere to the fabric. So you want to soak it for at least 20 minutes. I think it's been soaking for probably like 40 minutes or so. I put it in right before this live. So these are all set to go. And yeah, so I gave it, you may have seen, like I was squeezing out most of it, but I still want it like kind of wet just to help with the flowing of the different colors. So what I'm gonna do, I'm actually gonna, so I'm also recording this on my big camera, so hopefully I'll make like an actual video for it and like just to promote the campaign further so y'all can watch the footage after as well. I mean, I always like post the lives anyways, but I'll make it into like a nicer video. So I'm gonna get that camera going as well. Okay, cool. So we've got our sweatshirt. And the tricky thing about hoodies is obviously handling the hood. So normally you would have to like figure out how to put it all together. So if you do a spiral dye, like the hood and the sleeves are just kind of like these weird appendages just sticking out. And so that's something to factor in. But since we're doing a scrunch dye, it makes it really easy. How long will it take to dry? So I like to leave it, they say like 12 hours you want to let it set. But I just leave it for a full 24. That way I know it's like good to go. We have to wait until it melts completely. So we have to wait till the ice is just done melting first off. And then once it's done melting, I give it like a 24 hours. So basically tomorrow afternoon, I'll be able to come back. So I'll be posting the results of this probably on Instagram at some point this weekend. I'll just like snap some photos so y'all can see that over the weekend because I don't want y'all to wait too long to see the results. And then as mentioned, so like as y'all donate, I'll write names all throughout August. So I'll keep adding to the actual name list all throughout the month, but the actual dyeing will be done. Like it'll be good to go tomorrow. Like I'll have it washed and ready to go tomorrow. So for a scrunch dye, all I'm gonna do is just squish it, like literally just like scrunch it into a random cluster. And this is super awkward. Like I'm going around my camera, like my phone right now. So I don't think too much about it. I just want to get like some good folds in there. I'm just taking note of the sleeve. And I just squish it to just get some wrinkles. And that's what's going to give it these cool like up and down areas for the dye to seep into. And that, especially for ice dyeing, is super helpful because that's what gets the color to actually break. Is like as it melts, you'll have like a thick amount of dye on the top, and then as the water and ice goes through it, the lower layers will be a different color. So it'll break into the blues and purples at different points of that. Okay, so I have a bunch of rubber bands, and I also use zip ties. There isn't really a rhyme or reason for when I use one versus the other. So I have this like massive pack of zip ties just off Amazon. And then I like using these zip ties, which are reusable. So love that you can just reuse the zip ties, and that's helpful if you want to like really cinch something. But for now, I'm going to try and find a big rubber band just to like sort of get it all into one place. That one's pretty good. How do I always know what I'm doing, even when I'm doing it for the very first time? So this is not the first time I have done ice dyes by any means, not at all. And I mean, you were on when I was doing the tattooing. So like, you know, I did not know what I was doing at all. Like my knowledge was about 5 minutes of YouTube videos the night before. So no, not at all. I do not know what I'm doing some of the time. However, tie dyeing, I do know what I'm doing to some extent, at least. I mean, some people are like just insane at like making patterns and just like do insane stuff. And I am not at all to that level. I can do some like basic patterns, which I'm thinking I might want to do on like the towels, like maybe some hearts and stuff and like simple designs. So actually, if y'all have suggestions, let me know in the chat for different shapes, because I can do like a star, obviously circles, think symmetrical stuff. Heart is always fun. But yeah, these are going to be like our actual hand towels that we use in the kitchen. So yeah, I'm just sort of like squishing it randomly and just getting it so it's kind of a clump and not everywhere. And it's a little more manageable. So for a scrunch dye, it's less about the actual tying of it and more, this is just like to hold it all in one place. So I want to like, I'm sort of squishing that sleeve there to give it a little more scrunchy scrunch. And then tucking this under, I'm gonna fold this over and try and get it over an edge. Oh, that'd be neat. I'm curious about the ties. I wonder what those are made of. Oh, something I didn't mention. So tie-dyeing, in case you haven't tie-dyed before, tie-dyeing, you want to do it on cotton. So 100% cotton is best when tie-dyeing. Like when you buy just like a tie-dye kit, 100% cotton is what you're going for. So when this arrived, I was like, perfect. I know exactly what I'm going to do with the sweatshirt. Like how I'm going to tie-dye it because it's 100% cotton. So that was nifty. But yeah, this will work for any cotton fabric. But I lost my train of thought. It's because of this. So I'm curious if these ties are cotton. That'd be interesting. Because if they are, they'll dye. But if not, it won't. And they'll stay that blue color. So that'll be interesting. We'll find out tomorrow when it's all done whether it dyed or not. I'm just trying to get all these little bits. I'm going to fold this over into here. I am normally not this awkward when it comes to tying this, and I'm trying to not hit the camera. I know I keep doing it, but I'm trying to keep this camera as stable as possible. But it gives y'all the bird's eye, not bird's eye view, but like my view, which is nice. Doing a flower shape? Ooh. That's an idea. I'm trying to think how I would do that. That might be tricky, but it's possible. That's a thought. I was thinking through how I'd go about it. Will the colors stay and be visible on the blue? I'm hoping. Yeah, I mean, that's a concern I have. So basically, when tie-dyeing, it's supposed to be really vibrant. Like, naturally, you would love to use a white, like, ideally, like a white shirt. But this is, like, light enough that certainly some colors will pop on it. And I've used these ice dyes before, and they're pretty dang vibrant. So I'm not too concerned. It's just whether like the blue tones are the same as this blue, but at the very least there's purple. So we'll definitely have at least the purple tones coming through. Okay, I'm gonna pull this one around. I'm trying to get like this squished in a little more. Woo! Tappy tappy. Let's try and get this around. Pulling that under. Okay. I might want to pull that in some, but everything else is looking pretty good here. It's contained. And as you can see, I'm working in this Tupperware thing. These like Sterilite bins. Ooh, I'm noticing like there's a sleeve like shoved under this whole thing. So that it catches, so I'm working in the bin so that it catches all the water from the ice melting. Because obviously we have to factor in the actual ice melting everywhere. Thankfully, no rubber bands have broken on my hand whilst tie-dyeing. But see, I'm looking at this. I can't tell. Okay, this is the bottom, not a sleeve. That's what I thought. I'm like, the sleeves are on the sides. So now what I'm doing is just making sure there aren't like clumps, because I don't want like too many layers caught into it. Like I want to spread it out some and make sure when the dye runs that it will get pretty much everywhere. But I think we're good, because that's the point of the scrunch, is you kind of go out to in. And so it's already pretty spread out. Okay, then I'm gonna use my Nifty Difty risers, which are just yogurt containers. I have not upgraded. I know some people have used, what is it, like a cooling rack? So like for cooking, use cooling racks. I have questioned whether to get one or not, specifically because I'm worried that because of the grid on the cooling rack, that the dye will like pool on that grid, and then you're left with like the grid pattern on the back of the design. So I like these guys and I keep using them. Ooh, that is heavy. Okay. So I'm just gonna lay these down. And again, this is just to lift it up because the ice melts, as I mentioned. And as the ice melts, it will fill up this bin. Y'all can't see what I'm doing. It'll fill up the bin. And I don't want this sitting in that dye. So we want to make sure all the drips and everything are away from the sweatshirt. Okay, so I'm just spreading these out to make sure we are good. Yeah, cool. Drying off my hands a little bit. And I'm actually gonna grab some water myself. This is a good opportunity to remember to actually drink water and be grateful that we can. Okay, I'm gonna put my water bottle here so I don't forget it. There we go. Okay, I am drying off my hands because I am going to switch to my gloves, because I don't know if y'all hate this as well and have this like phobia or just aversion to ice, but like how the ice will stick to your hand, you know, like when you touch it, because it's like you might be slightly wet, like from sweat or whatever. And like right now, dealing with this, my hands are wet. I cannot stand when ice touches me and it like sticks and it's just, oh gosh, I hate that feeling. So I use gloves whenever I work with ice. So I'm gonna do that. So we are putting on our gloves. Ooh, this is what I do to dry off my hands. I just shake them out because this is gonna be tricky to get these gloves on. As I do this, what are people's weekend plans? What does everyone have going on? I don't really have anything personally this weekend. Like we were considering going to see the new Naked Gun movie, which I didn't even know that was a thing. I don't know what's happening to me that I am just not getting notified about new movies, but that is a potential option for Sunday. And y'all can see how difficult it is to put on a glove when your hands are slightly wet. It is so annoying. Oh my goodness. Ugh. Oh, dang it. Well, that's fun. Well, guess we're trying that again. Okay. That's super weird. Nitrile gloves are not normally known for breaking, so I don't know how that just happened. What I am gonna do is lower the heat a little bit. Let's drop the temps up. I don't know why my hands are so sticky. I'm guessing something in like the soda ash mixture is making it so my hands are still wet. I don't want y'all to think I have abandoned you, so I'm going to embarrassingly try to put on these gloves on camera. So you know I'm not just like disappeared. I'm just really awkward at putting on gloves, apparently. Oh my goodness. Okay, good enough. I mean, you can see that is like not on, but it is good enough for our purposes today. And then obviously the gloves are twofold. So not only I hate touching ice, but also I don't want dye on my hands. So yeah, I have enough stuff all over my hands. I do not need the dye constantly on my hands. Sometimes I remember, sometimes I don't. Like typically when I end up washing them, I don't bother putting on gloves. So that's when I end up getting dye on myself. But for now, this will be fine. Well, that's crazy. Mr. Beast just jumped in. Thanks for setting it up. This is pretty cool, and I'm excited to dye this sweatshirt. Neat. Looking at cars. Fun. Fun. Is it like buying a new car? Or just like going to a car show, because that would be pretty cool. Okay, getting the glove on. Okay, then next important step is mask. So safety first, y'all. So when ice dyeing, we are using the powder directly from the container. And so want to protect our lungs and make sure we are fully protected by wearing a mask. So I will be super muffled as I do this. But hopefully you guys can still hear me. Looking at college just for fun? Cool. That sounds fun. Okay. Actually, I don't even know why I did that. I was jumping the gun. I think I was so thrown off by Mr. Beast jumping to the chat that I just like panicked and was like, oh my God, next step. Like, can we like acknowledge how crazy that is? I am gonna screenshot this. I don't know why I didn't think of doing that before. Like, what? Mr. Beast is in the chat right now. Like, what is going on? Okay, we need ice. I screenshotted it. Because that has just blown my mind right now. Whew, I don't know if I'll get over that. Like, can y'all like acknowledge that that has just happened? Like, what? Y'all are in a chat with Mr. Beast. Like, what? Crazy. Okay. What happens if you don't use the mask? So particles, these super fun tiny particles get in your lungs and wreak havoc is the simple answer. Like this is, yeah, no, we're not messing around. Yeah, that is Mr. Beast. Y'all can click in and everything. I just did that. Yeah, no, that's, yeah, I don't know why you guys are so chill about it. Like, yeah. I sort of like did a double take and now can't seem to get over that. There it is. That's more the reaction I was thinking was gonna happen. I'm like, am I going crazy right now? How are you guys not reacting to this? Like, what? Yeah, so difficult to concentrate now that that has happened, but I screenshotted it, so my life is pretty much complete now. Yeah. I'm guessing he's like jumping into everyone doing lives and stuff, but like that's pretty crazy. Crazy pants. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Okay, so I don't know if y'all saw it or not. I grabbed a giant thing of ice. So literally like nearly all of the ice from my freezer. I had the good sense to not grab all of it so that I have ice afterwards, because I have made that mistake before, is without thinking, I just dump all the ice out and then I need ice right after that. So in honor of hashtag Team Water, we are using ice to dye our Team Water sweatshirt. Okay, so I am just covering the whole thing in ice. And now that I have my gloves on, it is not sticking to me in that super gross way that ice does. And I like looking for the ones that are stuck together. Because then it's easier to just like fit them on. Because it takes up more space. If y'all see that, yep, cat's coming in. So there's my cat, Rufio, who's decided to join. He loves ice. So I think that's why he has decided to join. And now he's all walking on the table. So any camera shakes right here on out are from the cat and not me. So just want to make sure I don't get in trouble for the cat's doings. Woo! You want to eat some ice? Oh my gosh, you're an ice cruncher. Oh, I can't do that. Oh, even thinking about it. Oh, more power to you. I do not understand how you're able to do that. I just, ugh, nope. I cannot chew on ice. He's just like sitting right there. Y'all can see his tail. So my cat's name is Rufio. I don't know if his face will make an appearance or not. Ooh, let's try. Move that over. So I'm just tucking him in. Little ice cubes whenever I can. And I like to just stack a whole bunch on top and make a massive pile. And then sprinkle the dye on top. So I just go around. There really isn't, like that's what's fun about ice dyeing, is there isn't really like a strategy to it. It's just pile on a bunch of ice. It's like, especially when you're scrunch dyeing, which is also why I like scrunch dyeing, is you just kind of like smush it all over. Like, don't really have to think about it much. It's super easy and it just comes out gorgeous. It comes out so pretty with such little effort. Hey, Monica. Yeah, I have heard that. Is that a real thing? Like that if you chew on ice, it could be that you're anemic? Like, I don't know if that's just a legend or not. I don't know if it's real or not. I just imagine that it's also just a preference, which I just can't do. Okay, we are gonna keep piling. And of course you can always add more ice later on And something you'll see, because it's inevitable that it will happen, is some of the ice will fall off. Whoops. I just realized my other camera. I wasn't even recording. Oh well. Ice. Mike, thank you. Okay, I'm still counting it. So if y'all don't know, that is my husband who just said he donated. So we are still gonna add his name to the list. I don't know where to write. We are going to write on my hand. So I am gonna keep track of names. Wow, that was terrible handwriting. That's worse than normal for me. So I'm gonna keep track of names on the piece of paper. And so afterwards, I'll be able to write everyone's names on the shirt. So Mike's cheating because he would have gotten it there. Anyway, so pen to the side. Monica, for pica, is that a human thing as well? Or is it a cat thing? Because this one 100% has pica as well. So you are currently twinning with my cat. Yeah, my husband's help if you all see the chat. Yeah, he's helping our friend move right now. Fun day for him. Meanwhile, I get to tie-dye. That's crazy. So DO7, like what changed? Is it just like you don't like it or you don't crave chewing ice? Like I gotta know more. I'm fascinated by this. And like I know like giving birth, people like chew on ice chips. I don't understand that at all. And I am just making a massive tower because I can, and I grabbed so much stinking ice. Oh, here comes the cat. Yep, can y'all see that? He's trying to go for the bucket. Well, he's joining as well. I will have to kick him out once I open the dye, though. Y'all, he's just licking the ice. You're not helping, Rufio. Now I feel bad that okay, now he's moving. Do you just want the ice? Rufio, you want it? You want to take it? You want it? Nope, backing up. Yeah, so that's Rufio for you. He has definitely made it into some of my videos doing similar stuff. It's never helpful. It's always just being in the way. Okay, I think I'm looking good, though this is probably gonna fall. No, we're good. Okay. I am going to move this to the side here. I'm going to move the cat off the table. Actually, I'm going to move the cat to the ground. I'm going to put this on the ground so that he is not incentivized to jump on the table again. Okay, he left anyways. Okay, now, as long as Mr. Beast doesn't jump in the chat again, we can actually start on this. The ice chips are so you stay hydrated. Interesting. Okay, I would have thought it's like snow though, and how you're like not supposed to eat snow because it dehydrates you. But maybe it's like in enough, like in little quantity, it's fine. But okay, part 2. Doing this incorrect order. We are putting on the mask. I don't want to knock over everything, but I have my respirator because I do not mess around when it comes to stuff going into my lungs, or my pulmonologist would be very upset with me. No worries, Olivia. Got you when you get back. Okay, hopefully y'all can still hear me. I'm like yelling through my respirator. So let me grab the ice dye. And again, this is the one we're using. So it's called Nebula. And this is what it looks like. I can't remember what color it is. Okay, how crazy is this? So it is a green color. I didn't even remember that. But it'll actually be these blues and purples. So what we're gonna do is I have my spoon, And all I do is I just scoop, whoop. All I do is I just scoop this and sprinkle it all over the ice. And I do it pretty generously. And you'll see it'll start, like the colors will start to go because it is so stinking warm in here. Like it's already starting to melt down. But I just make sure to coat like every ice cube in ice, or in ice. Coat every ice cube in dye. This honestly might be like way too much, but it's a big sweatshirt, so I don't know. I've actually, now that I think of it, I've only ice dyed t-shirts. So a sweatshirt will actually be unique simply because it's so much thicker of fabric. So I'm actually now less concerned about how much I'm using. Because I know in the past, when I've done specifically using these ice dyes, I did like multiple layers of it, and it like blended all together and it didn't give as good of a watercolor effect. So that's just something that I'm a little worried about, is using too much. But I'm gonna leave it at that. And that is literally all you have to do. So I am closing this up. And once I close this, I am less concerned about particles going everywhere, though I do give this spoon a rinse. And actually what I can do instead of that is I'm gonna dip my paper towel into the water back here. Whoop. See if I can reach it. There we go. Okay, and then I'm just gonna wipe this off here so I don't leave you guys to go into the sink. And then I just wipe this off so that there aren't just particles flying around. And if I need to use the spoon again. Woo! I'm supposed to eat snow if it's supposed to be contaminated. Okay, I'm taking off the mask. Woo! Okay, hopefully, whoa, now I'm yelling. Woo, hopefully that wasn't too loud. So now that everything is on here, I'm less worried about particles flying around because it's just gonna melt and everything is contained. So mask can come off, but now I'm looking at y'all's messages. So contaminated snow. I do not remember that being a thing, but maybe I don't remember that at all. I thought you would get dehydrated because it just takes more energy to melt the snow than it would be to drink it. So I don't know. I don't remember. It does look like matcha for sure. So how cool is this? So the crazy matcha powder. It does also look like rocks. I'm with you on that. You can see it like is already breaking into those blues and purples. And I do not understand why this dye looks green initially. At no point will it be green. It's very weird to me because most dyes, like some dyes, it is like a different color, but not the blues and pinks usually, and the purples. So I don't know what's with that. But we can now just let this guy chill. And now that I'm thinking about it, I didn't fully think it through for where I am going to put this. Let me think. I might swap stuff. Welcome back, Olivia. Because I still want to be able to do my towels with you guys as well. So I might have to do some finagling. Let me move my computer, and I don't want to like smack the camera. So what I might do, and I assume you guys do not want to just watch this melt. So I am going to move it to the side. And I was considering doing some stuff in here, but the ice is just going to start melting and it's going to be yucky. So nope. Okay, let me move this out of the way first. And I'm just going to slide it to the side. I have my laptop there. That is why the music is changing. But hopefully sliding this won't be too bad. It is all staying, so yay. Okay, let me continue sliding this over. Let's move that. Whew. Okay, now let me move. Here, I'll put this here so y'all can see the stuff we've made and used. And now, drinking water. I'm going to get my laptop back. Actually, let's turn this around. Okay, here's a question for y'all. So we have ideas on shapes. Something I completely forgot to ask, which would have been helpful, is what color are we thinking? Personally, I'm thinking like blue tones. So let me grab the blues that I have. Boop, boop. Okay, this one's navy blue, and then this is a cobalt blue, and I personally am like very excited about that. So I might just start with this while you guys like decide on colors. And then we also have a sky blue, and then I have yellows, pinks, reds, and then we can mix colors as we want. Here is a yellow, for example. Slide that in. And I am going to move these to the side. I am grabbing all the materials I need, so I'm grabbing some bottles. Whoop, whoop. And sliding this over. Okay. And put my laptop back so I can actually see what y'all are saying. Okay, sweet. Why not just melt the ice myself? I want to try that. I'm actually very curious about how that would affect it. Because I'm thinking that if you force it to melt, it might not do as much breaking because it won't have as much time to just separate and distribute slowly. But it is something that I've been wanting to do. So I might do like a whole video on that and like doing a side by side and trying to get them like basically do two things at the same time in the same way and see how it works. Because I am very curious about that. But yeah, I don't know. I'm curious to get your guys' theories on that. I'm actually moving the ice into the fridge in case we want to use it again. I don't know. But it's like you could also just like put ice on top and have like multiple layers so that it like keeps flowing through. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, I'm thinking, so I wanted to do blue first. So I want to do cobalt blue. So I know I'm going to use that. So, oh, that's what I didn't grab. Yeah, let's mix this up first so it's not in the way. Okay, so when mixing dye, I'm thinking, let me grab the scale and then I'll explain. Because I just realized I grabbed these dyes and you guys might have no clue what this is. So when you buy a tie-dye kit, and there are a bunch of tie-dye kits that I recommend, which again, they're from, so my absolute, this like isn't just because I like quote unquote sponsored by them, though I'm not like I just get commission if someone buys something that I recommend. But this is my absolute favorite tie-dye kit. And so I have a whole blog post about it, and like, I've tried just so many different tie-dye kits, and weirdly this one, so there are two that are like the same, they're like in the shopping section of this video, but it has the best bottles. Like, that's why I love it so much. Aside from like, it also comes with the soda ash, so it's like a complete kit. But the bottles are so nice. I didn't grab them, and I really should have. These are like bought separately, and these are fully inferior to those tie-dye bottles. But that kit specifically, my favorite kit. It comes with just like a red, though I think it's probably like magenta, turquoise, and yellow. So like red, blue, yellow. And so you can mix any colors that you want. So normally when you get a tie-dye kit, if you've gotten a tie-dye kit, is it comes with the bottles and it comes with a little bit of dye, like the powdered dye in the bottle. And then it like has a line that you're supposed to fill it to, and then you shake it up and can use the dye. But since I do so much stinking tie-dyeing, I just stopped buying kits. I think that kit was probably the last kit that I got. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this for a while. I'm gonna start buying just bulk dye. And so these are Dharma. So these are from Dharma Trading Co. And you can get them on Amazon as well. I've linked to them in the description. And Jacquard also has their own. So again, anything from Jacquard, you can get 20% off with code ABCrafty. So typically my like coupon code for anything that I ever mention will always be ABCrafty, by the way. But they have them as well. I think Dharma's may have been cheaper at the time, but I didn't have a coupon code for myself when I got all of these. So I don't know, Jacquard dyes might be just as cheap with a code. I don't know. I realize I'm like so far in the chat. Like I'm so backed up in the chat. Oh no, Monica. I'm sorry you're not feeling well. Oh gosh, no fun. I hope you feel better. I feel like tie-dyeing is like could be a thing that one could do while sick. It's like, you know, like super lazy project. I don't know. I think it could be something. Yeah. Do you really hoard tie-dye kits? No way. Okay, wait, Monica, what? Oh, like the bottles? Since you do tie-dye kits, what are some of your favorite ones? And have you tried the Jacquard one? And which are your favorite bottles? Because, like, I'm not crazy in having a preferred bottle, right? Like, I'm not crazy in that. It's like something about the caps that I really love. Like, the cap is so good. Also, they're color-coded, so that's really cool. Anyways, okay, I digress. I was going into the chat, and now I'll pay more attention to that. Okay. So because I get them in bulk, the only difference is you just have to measure the dye yourself. That's it. So because they come pre-measured, it makes it super easy, but that's all you have to do when you buy in bulk is you just have to measure the amount that goes in the bottle. That's it. And so that's what we need to do for step 1. And ooh, this is actually perfect. So typically the ratio is 1 gram of dye, of powdered dye, to 100 milliliters of water. And if you saw, so I posted a video where I just dyed some wool with like blacklight reactive dye, which is the coolest freaking thing. So I highly recommend checking out that video after this because it's like, I had not heard of it and it's apparently been around for like years at this point and I completely missed the memo. But it is so stinking, like it legit glows under blacklight. It's crazy, crazy stuff. But that dye is specifically used for wool. And so that's in a category called acid dyes, whereas these are, you can see, it's called fiber reactive dye. So fiber reactive dye for use on natural fibers, which is what cotton would be. Monica, caps. Oh my God, yes, thank you. So I'm not crazy. Thank you for the validation. Hopefully you feel validated as well. Oh, you also dye yarn. Yeah, okay, so you're all up to date. Like as far as, so do you dye wool or cotton? I realized, assuming it would have been wool, but no, there's plenty of cotton dye. I just have not dyed cotton dye yet. So I have my whole collection of all my different dyes. So I have like my synthetic dyes, my acid dyes for wool, and then my fiber reactive dyes, which are for cotton. So like I said, normally you do 1 gram for 100 milliliters of water. But some of these, you need double that. So typically there will be an asterisk on the color. So you can see here, it has cobalt, let me get that closer, cobalt blue asterisk. That means you need double the amount of dye per water. So this will need 2 grams for 100 milliliters. And then this one, it has the 2 asterisks. And so you need triple. So you would need 3 grams of dye for every 100 milliliters of water. So we are gonna start with this cobalt blue. I'm thinking, these towels are just little hand towels. So normally I fill these massive bottles to the full 200 milliliters. Well, I guess it's a 250 bottle, but I normally do it to 200 milliliters. But I don't think I'm actually gonna need that much. So I'm actually gonna do the little bottles. So I grab these guys as well, and I'll just do the 100 milliliters. And if we need to make more, I will. Oh no, people who are allergic to wool, that's no fun. But amazing that you do all of it. What? Wool is less labor intensive. Okay, I was like, what? Really? I don't actually, now that I think of it, because it's like you have to heat it. For wool, you have to heat. For this, it takes longer. Like wool, it's more satisfying because it's like done. So in case you don't know, for wool, you use acid dyes, like I said. So you use vinegar or citric acid to help set the dye. So that's why we do the pre-soak with soda ash for fiber reactive dyes. For acid dyes, when dyeing wool, you use citric acid or vinegar as your acid to set that dye. But then you also need heat to like lock in that dye. So that's the difference. Whereas for fiber reactive dyes, you don't need heat, it's just time. And it's normally they say 12 hours, but as I said, I always give it the full 24. Okay, so I'm gonna put my mask back on for this while we measure out the dye here. So I want to make sure it is in grams. There we go. And okay, put it on my mask. Okay, I will try yelling again. Okay, stuff it in here. So we have our bottle. Put that on the scale. Then I tare it. And so, like I said, we need 2 grams. I'm just giving a little shake to separate it a little bit. And then I just scoop it, pour it in so hopefully it doesn't go anywhere other than the bottle. There we go. 1.8. Almost. Perfect. Okay, we have our 2 grams. Closing that up. I'm going to try knocking this in there. And again, I wipe off the spoon. And I realized that I didn't have my hot water going. Does it have a smell? I don't know. I do not want to smell it. So I can't smell anything when I put on the mask, which is the point, is you don't want to be able to smell any of it. So I have no idea if it smells or not, because I have never not worn a mask when working with those. Though I guess like after I pour it, like once it's a solution, it's fine. Okay, I normally prep hot water, and I completely forgot to do that right before this. I meant to do it like as we started. So what I'm gonna do is plug this in. I have a little hot water here, known as a kettle. That would be a normal phrase for that. And so I'm gonna turn this guy on. Okay, and while that heats up, I'm actually gonna prep our space, and we will come back to this. But we have our dye in our little bottle, and in order to actually dye stuff, I like to lay down plastic wrap. So not only does it protect the surface, but it's also going to allow us to just wrap the whole thing in plastic wrap and then set it aside for it to fully set. Oh, that's no fun, Monica. Oh, jeez. Aw. Hopefully you'll get to do it soon, though. So I am grabbing plastic wrap. We're gonna prep this space. And I'm thinking, because we're doing little towels, I don't think we need too much. Normally I do like 2 layers. So like I'll do one here and then one there, but I actually don't think we'll need that much space. So famous last words. Okay, swiping that. You know what? We might as well actually just start doing the tying. So I'm not going to start with that flower idea from Olivia just yet, because that is more complicated than I'm thinking. Okay, I am squeezing this out. I'm trying to get like most of the liquid, basically squeezing all of it out to my strength, which is not much, but ugh. Dream of color combos. Oh my gosh, you are me. We are the same person. Though I will say, I am not one, because like with dyes, you never really know how it's going to turn out. So I've never actually tried doing anything like perfectly. Like this is generally what it might look like. I don't try to get it like exactly that color. Like I just, it comes out to what it is. I personally think that's what's so fun. I'm going to move this. This is not helpful right now. Okay, I'm just going to do this on the table and I will wipe the table later. Okay, I'm gonna do classic. Ooh, I'm trying to think. Yeah, I'll just do it this way. Okay, I'm gonna do a classic spiral because I just love me a spiral design. And I'm realizing that there is definitely stuff on the table. There's like little specks. And so for a spiral design, I realize I'm just starting without explaining anything. So in case you haven't done a spiral design, start in the middle, give it a little pinch, and then you just twist. And then you want to keep the sides, like all of these little ridges, you want to keep them as clean as possible if you want like a perfect little spiral. But then you just keep twisting and twisting. And you'll see I go in and just make sure all the little ridges and folds are showing. I'm gonna fix that one. I'm gonna fix this one. Give that an extra fold. And just keep twisting until it goes all the way around. And then I just like force it around like that. And then we tie it. What did happen to the rubber bands? To the rubber bands? You dream and then accept whatever comes. Yeah, that sounds right. So like this, I'm like, that's such a gorgeous cobalt blue. Hopefully it'll come out like that. Oh, it's like a navy? Okay, cool. Okay, so because I'm just using one color, I am not going to worry too much about dividing it into sections, though I am messing up my beautiful little spiral, so we are going to fix that as I go. The first rubber band is always the most awkward and like potentially messes everything up. There we go. Okay. You're going to do that, and you're going to give it a twist, and I'm just going to put that back on that same spot. And I'm just gonna grab that middle section so we don't lose that middle fold. Grabbing another rubber band. Don't break. You are stressing me out. Oh my goodness. One of these days, I feel like you're jinxing it. That's kind of what I'm feeling. If it breaks, I'm blaming you. I don't know. Okay. Normally I do thirds, so I might try and do that because also where it is. I'm trying to get them kind of overlap because that's what gives it some of the ridges. Yeah, that's not gonna work. That's gonna be way too tight. I'm gonna try and find a little bit bigger one. This one's probably too big, but it is fine. Yeah, look at how much dye it costs. Welcome to my life where dye is everywhere. But it's fine, since we're working with blues today to fit with the water theme, I am completely fine with having a little bit of blue on it. Okay, now this is sticking out, so I'm gonna tuck this under the rubber band. So I like to go back through, and if there are any pieces that are sticking out like that, I just go ahead and tuck them in where they need to be tucked in. So like this one, same thing. Spiral is going this way. And we are just gonna tuck that under. There. Okay, now in theory, what I'm also realizing, because I'm doing a single color, you don't even need to like make the bottle. You could in theory just put it into a bowl and drop it in and soak it, but I am just so in a habit of mixing the dyes that it like didn't even occur to me to do that. I think our hot water is actually ready. Yeah, that might be ready. Okay. I'm gonna grab another rubber band for that part though. Let's do this. Y'all, can we just like reflect that Mr. Beast was in the chat? Like, I was just remembering that. Like, what? What? Oh, what a weird day. What a weird Friday. Y'all were in a chat with Mr. Beast. Like, weird day. Weird day. Good start to the weekend. Like, y'all can like legit say you were in a chat with Mr. Beast. Like, crazy pants. Okay, now I'm going to put my plastic. Oh, actually, since our water is ready, let's go ahead and do that. So here is my tip for mixing dye, which I am shocked I am remembering right now because I always forget this on my first mixing of dye. But you just want to fill it. Let me put that more on screen. You want to just add a little bit of water and not fill it all the way so that it doesn't get everywhere. So because the bottle isn't full, it's a lot easier to mix because I have had plenty of times where it's full and just the bottle sucks and gets dye everywhere. So that is my biggest tip, is just add a little bit of water and give it a stir. And then once that is finally dissolved, then fill the bottle all the way. And so what I used was my kettle. So I just have an electric kettle here, this guy, and heated it up to the lowest setting, and that helps dissolve the powder. I know, I like clicked on the name too to double check that it was him. And it went to his account, so that's crazy. I mean, like, I'm sure it was someone on his team. Like, I don't know how often he is actually on YouTube, and it's probably someone on the team that's like going through, but I'm counting it. Like, it still counts. I'm counting that as a win, and that was crazy. Oh, man. Okay, so now I'm just giving it a turn to check to see if it's all dissolved. And it looks like it is. It's sometimes hard to tell if that's just liquid, but no. Okay, so I'm checking to see if there's a little bit of powder left, but there's not. So we are good to fill this up. Ooh. So grabbing the rest of the water. I'm now so tempted to smell it. Was that the first time you said? Yeah, no, this is not something, yeah. No, Mr. Beast is always just like hanging out, watching craft videos. Yep, that's his style. No. God, no. That's not normal at all. But like, it makes sense. It's his campaign. Like, he made this whole thing. He's kicking it off. So it's his whole team doing the whole Team Water campaign. So it makes sense that he's like jumping in for forbidden soy sauce. Oh my gosh, too funny. Yeah, pretty much. Ooh. And see, that's why you don't stir it early with full, or not early, but you don't fill it up all the way so that you don't do what I just did and get stuff everywhere. Pro tip to get dye off your counter, any like cleaning agent that has bleach works great. It comes right off. Okay, so now I'm going to put this here, spread it out, and so this will at least protect the surface a little bit. I realize I'm sitting off to the side. Oh, and now we are good to dye this. I almost said tie it. I'm just wiping my hands off. And since we're doing just one color, we can just coat the whole thing in dye. Oh, it's such a pretty blue. Oh, it's so pretty. So normally, I feel like the classic look is to do it in sections. So each, I was gonna say quadrant, but it's technically not, each sextant, because there are 6, gets its own color. And so like this would be one color, this one would be one, like each section would be its own color. But since I am doing one color for the whole thing, I'm just covering the whole thing. And then I like to just, in case, like go through the folds a little bit, give it a smush, and that helps the dye get through the whole thing. I realized I probably used way too much on that side. Ooh, Olivia, diamond painting, yes. +1 to that question. What diamond painting you doing? It's been a hot minute since I've worked on my diamond painting. I started a new project 2 days ago. I think last live. So what, last week? I was talking about how I was working on a diamond painting. Yeah, no, I stopped working on that. My new project now is a crochet nudibranch, so a sea slug. I started working on that little guy, so at some point when it's done, I'll hopefully post it to Instagram, if I remember. I'm not great about posting projects, especially the ones that I just do like while watching TV. Okay, so now I'm gonna give this a flip and add a little bit more dye to this side. Now I'm thinking I should have mixed more. That's fine. We can mix more if we need it. And then same thing, I'm gonna give it a squeeze to help distribute all the dye. It's white with flowers. Nice. How big is it? Is it like a massive one, a little one? Did you just start working on it? I personally love the little ones because you're done and it's instant gratification in like a short amount of time. Like the stickers, I have so many videos of me working on the stickers because it's so satisfying to just be like 10 minutes, done. So I'm going through little areas that I feel like need a little bit more. I feel like it's almost like a jean, like blue jean color, like denim. You know? Like especially where it's lighter. Give it a little bit more. In all honesty, my recommendation, if you are doing a single color, is to just make it in a bin. Like tie it real tight and just drop the whole thing in dye. But I guess the downside of that is you have to mix a ton of dye, so that is one thing to consider. Okay, you can see here's like, I'm just testing, like going through the folds. We need a lot more dye. Okay. So I'm now going in. You saw how there were like really big white sections. So I'm gonna go in and try and get this into the folds a little bit better. And I'm gonna give it more squishes to hopefully get it coated. Other than sleeping, too funny. I highly doubt that. Yeah, so I'm really just trying to give it some squish to really push it into those folds and get it distributed so that it is not as white. I probably could have gotten more liquid out of it. I'm realizing, like, you can see when I push, like, a ton of liquid comes out. So I think that's working against me right now, but that just means we'll have, like, a bunch of these tones. Like, all the different tones of the blue, which might be really pretty. Ooh. Push, push, push. And I think we might be good. I feel like I'm overkill on this one. So my nifty towel right here. We do still have some blue, so that was pretty good for one, you know? Okay. And technically there is like a whole ratio that you're supposed to follow, which I have never learned, where it's like a pound of cloth for how many ounces of dye kind of thing. Actually, it might be on this. Let's see. Nope. Nope, there's not. But there is some sort of rule, like recommendation for how much dye you're supposed to use per pound of material that you're dyeing. I have never, like not once, ever followed that. So, like with Monica, like I just hope for the best. I've never worried about the amount of dye. If there's extra dye, oh well, not the end of the world. My concern is more if there is enough dye. And then I'll just learn for next time. Of like, oh, that wasn't enough. I probably should have used way more. So now I am just gonna wrap this guy up because you wanna keep it moist. That is the main thing with fiber reactive dyes, is you wanna keep the whole thing moist while it cures. And then you can even, like, while it's in it, give it some smooshes. The rate of fiber, WOF. See, I don't even know the terminology for that one. Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm not trying to reproduce something, you know? So it's just for my own fun. So I'm not too worried about it. Olivia, it's a 30 by 30. Oh, snap. So it's a big one. Wow. Yeah, so that's going to be a while. That's fun. That'll be so pretty when it's done. Okay. I'm feeling good about this one. I'm trying to think what other colors. I'm curious about the flower idea. We can try it. Let's try it. So I'm grabbing a towel right now, another one. Didn't mean to DJ call in there, but rinsing this out. We're not rinsing it out, wringing it out. I'm gonna try and get more water out of this one. Let's really try to squeeze that out. There we go. Ooh, almost fell. Also keeps losing $50 worth. Nice. Yeah, that makes sense. Makes sense. Okay. I'm trying to think. So if we do circle in the middle, and then the petals on the outside, that could work. This would be the most complicated pattern I have done. Normally I've done like a single line, like a heart. So you're doing it that way. But I could do circle, boop, boop. I don't know. I could do like a tulip. In theory. This isn't very big though. So like circle, 1, 2, or not circle, but like a rounded thing. 1, 2, 3, something like that. See, now here's something we're considering it as far as like something I've never done before, doing it live. That's a good idea. I'm getting blue everywhere. What time is it? It is 4-ish p.m. for me. So I'm in Nashville, so I'm in Central Standard Time. So, yeah. I don't know if British Columbia is the same times. I don't even know. Where's reading out from the center? Interesting. Because what I'm thinking, so normally what I do, so it at least gives some context for how I go about doing designs, is I'll fold it in half and then use washable marker to draw the design. And that is actually also something I'm realizing is because I soaked these in advance, I didn't think that through. Because I don't know if the marker will actually stay on this. But what I do is, so like for a heart, is you'll draw the heart and like do the curve, and then you like scrunch it up and like fold it over, tie it, and that'll give you the heart pattern. So that's like the quick, dirty way of doing it. So if I'm thinking for a flower, we would need a circle, which is like fair enough. I can just like tie a thing in the middle and then we have our circle. But then the petals, we would need like a half thing here and then another one, probably another one, or do it as 5. 1, 2, like that. But I don't know without getting a yarn and thread, needle and thread. I don't know if I can do that. I think we have to keep it simpler. For this time around. Maybe in the future we can do a flower, but for this, let's keep it a little simpler. I also want to do a few of these, and that one would take me a while to do. So at least for this, let's try this. I'm gonna do, you want to see a sunflower inspired tie? Next time. I'll have to look into it. I might try that one on my own first and see if I can get it down, and then we can try it live. So I might fuss around with it for a while. Ooh, a water droplet. Ooh, good idea. Yeah, water's sold. Water droplet. Thank you, Monica. So we're gonna do the same thing. Let me grab my washable markers. Where did I put those? There, right here. I did not have to go that far. Okay. And let's grab blue because water. Okay. So I want it kind of in the middle. I'm not going to be too worried about where the middle is. It's roughly here. Boop. You know what? Now I said that. Now I'm going to. Okay. I'm just going to mark the middle. Boop. Okay. So we have our little middle mark. And now I'm thinking if we do something like that, that will give us, wow, I wasn't paying attention at all. Well, good thing this is washable. That didn't come out in the middle whatsoever. So we want to start probably around here. Bring that up, and then we'll make it boldest. There, that's a little better. I always have trouble with like the bottom of it. I don't know if y'all can see that. Like I always, like something, it'll be like an upside down heart. So I'm worried it might be like that, but hopefully it won't be. If I flatten that out and make sure that that's flat. And then we've got that. That honestly might be a little too bulbous. It doesn't have to be this specific. I'm being picky. Interesting. You can dye on cotton with Sharpies? I've never tried that. I'll have to look into that. That's super cool. I haven't thought about like what the dye, so like basically alcohol inks would work on cotton as well, because I have not done that. Okay, now we have our water droplet design and we do our little folds. So it's actually a lot easier than you think to make these designs. So I'm gonna try and keep it pretty tight. And what you do is you just follow the line as you fold it. And so you just, what are these called? Like accordion folds? You just accordion fold along the line, and you just want to keep all of it straight. So as you fold, you just want to make sure that everything is creating one straight line, which is kind of awkward because I did multiple lines, so it's a little more difficult to see. But you just twist the fabric around to make sure you keep it as straight as possible when folding. And now we're coming back out. And we've got this, fold, fold, and fold. So there is our line. And then this is where we put a rubber band across it, which I'm gonna try and grab. So normally I use a zip tie for this, but because it's so small, I actually am gonna use a rubber band. Just because with zip ties, you can hold it in place easily, but this is so small that I'm worried if I use a zip tie, it actually will come apart. So, you know what? We're gonna zip tie it because the rubber band is being fussy. So, zip tie, I just slide it under. Yeah, that's much easier. Because now I don't have to worry about lifting it, twisting it, doing the whole thing. And then slide that through. And make sure it's just on the line that you drew. And I realize it's like already washing off. So that's the thing, with washable marker, it comes right off. And that's why I use it, though while it's wet, it will start to disappear. And then tighten it down. And that's what creates the resist for that spot. And so that will hopefully give us a little water droplet pattern. And then for the rest of it, you have multiple options. So you could do like a scrunch. So like how we did the sweatshirt, you could do the whole thing as a scrunch. And so it'll just give it that kind of pattern. Or if you want it to continue that design and that water droplet, you can actually keep the folds. Because see, it like starts creating folds there. And so you can actually keep those going. And so you can organize the rest of it and keep it all in a straight line. And as long as you put ties across it in straight lines, it will still give you that same water droplet pattern like the first one. And so it'll like radiate out with bigger water droplets. So that's what I am gonna do because I really like the look of those. I've done them both ways. It's just a matter of how I'm feeling in the moment for that design. But I like the idea of a whole thing of water droplets. You could also just like keep the whole thing. Like in theory, you could leave that white, dye the entire other side of it one color, ice dye part of it, like totally up to you. Okay, but I am going to do more with this guy. And each place where you put a mark is where it will be white. And by mark, I mean zip tie or rubber band. And I did this one the opposite direction, which will not make it easy when it comes off. But now I'm gonna tie that as tight as possible to make sure we get a good resist there. And I'm just kind of trying to keep them spaced out somewhat evenly. I'm doing these completely opposite directions. Oh my goodness. Okay, trying to grab this zip tie here. This one might be a little small, but we'll make it work. And I like to pull it to one side so it's a little bit easier to cinch together. And just as I'm cinching, I might move it around. That one, it was gonna like fold over on itself. So I'm gonna prevent that by keeping it flat. Ooh, okay, got that all tied. And this one's a little more messy, and we're gonna probably lose the pattern down here, but it's fine. The pattern will just fade out, and that also looks pretty cool. Same thing, another zip tie. And again, keeping it a little more flat. Pulling that tight. Black it out. And I am gonna leave that. We're just gonna leave that as it is. Okay, now the question is, what color do we dye it? It might be neat to have different colors of blue. That might be fun. So like doing the sky blue as well. Another option is obviously doing another ice dye. Though I also like the monochrome look as one thing. So I am open to ideas for how we want this one done. Could do like alternating as well. In the meantime, I am gonna mix this guy up. Let's go ahead and mix this up. Grab my mask. And this one is just a basic, so we don't need to add more. So we're just doing 1 gram for the 100 mils. What did I do with my spoon? There it is. Oh, that's such a pretty color. The blues are just so pretty. So measuring out 1 gram for this one. Oh, that's a little hard. Oh well. Looks fine. And while I have my mask on, I might as well just mix up the navy. So let's go ahead and do that one. And this one we need 3 times as much. So we need 3 grams of this. And that one almost looks purple, which is pretty crazy. Spill that. Not too much. I like to do a little at a time. You can always add more. There we go. Grams. Okay. I'm gonna close that. Normally I would label them, but we're not doing that many. So I'm just gonna put that there, that there. Okay. Mask off. And let's put them on opposite things. Yeah, that's clearly more. Woo. Let's tear that. Now I've already forgotten. This is why I label stuff, people. Normally I put a piece of tape and just write on it. 15.8. Okay, so this one is clearly the navy. And that one's the sky blue. Right after I said, I'm not gonna label it, I'm gonna remember. No, that is a falsehood. I never remember. I just am overly confident in thinking that I can remember. Okay, So now we can just mix these guys up. And same thing as before, just doing a little bit, giving it a shake. Okay, make sure to like put them on top of the color that they are. I'll put that on the cobalt. Y'all can't see that there. Shake, shake, shake. That looks like it's all mixed. And then fill the rest. So the full 100. It also helps to obviously scoop up any drips as they happen. Okay, sky blue done. Now we have our navy blue. Stir that up as well. This one I assume will take a little longer. There is dye all over the table because this one has a lot more in it. Shake it up. It's hard to tell. See, this is why these bottles are inferior to that jacquard kit. I think it's like Funky Groovy tie-dye kit. The name is fun. There we go. 100 milliliters. Okay, I'm thinking we go light to dark. Maybe we'll do dark and then light back up. Or we could leave the middle white. That might be fun. Sort of a reverse of the logo. See, this is why we hate these bottles. Oh my goodness. And this is also why we wear gloves. Oh, that's so pretty. Oh, that color. That is how I test colors. I'll just like drop it on a paper towel and see how it looks. So, that is one way to test it out. Okay. Move that out of the way. Now, let's put some plastic down. Protect the workspace. And be able to wrap it up. Ooh. I just realized I probably need more to get over those, but it's fine. I might be able to tuck them under. We can do that after. Okay. So we have light. Yeah, maybe we'll just go in order. I keep changing it up, but honestly, these are so similar that we will start with the sky blue for this section. So this will be the main water droplet. So just add the dye, give it a squeeze, help distribute it. And they are probably gonna blend a little bit between each section because I am not worried too much about that. So there's that one. Then, now let's do this. Woo! See, my little light just went out, and now it's probably darker. Hopefully it might adjust. But now you can see the difference of if the light helps or not. So I definitely need to get some kind of charger. I'll look into that for next time, of getting that light its own charger. It was working off of its charge. And clearly that was not enough. So that was only an hour and a half. That is not much. So still might be on the hunt for a light to help get this area a little bit more visible for y'all. Especially like today, it's pretty gloomy out. It hasn't rained, but it is kind of yuck out, which is not helping. So I'm not getting any like natural light today, unfortunately. So getting this all up in there. And then again, I like to check between the folds. Give it a good squeeze. And then we have our navy blue for the next section. Distribute that through. I am curious how different these colors are going to be. That'll be interesting. I am realizing, I'm definitely not going to be able to do all of these. I have plenty more towels, but we might stick with the two. Ooh. I didn't think about how long this would take. Maybe we'll do an ice dye one. Maybe we'll add another ice dye. I don't know. There. And now we're gonna go back to the sky blue. No worries, Olivia. Hope you feel better. Everyone's sick. No fun, people. Hope everyone feels better. I will say, this is a pretty blue. Like, it's simple, but it is pretty. Like, I feel like I gravitate towards the darker navy colors, but this one is really pretty. You know, I honestly think I might have to do some solid colors. Like, I rarely do just solid color of something, but I'm thinking I might have to. Like, these blues are really pretty. And that might be fun to try just a solid color. I think I've literally only dyed one thing. No, that's not true at all. That's not true. There are a couple tank tops that I dyed. But there is a shirt that my husband bought and forgot to return. Like, missed the return window. And so I just dyed it a different color, and now it's a really pretty blue. I think I did it the cobalt, and it came out so pretty. But then the tank tops were like purples and other colors. That is a nifty trick. If you have something that you don't like the color of, just dye it. Just dye a different color. Okay. Woo! Where did that come from? I realized I have not drank water in a hot minute. So let's grab that. Which are we doing next? We are doing this one, because I remember it was like the greener tone. And just get this last section. There we go. So I've done the single dyes 2 ways. So the last one for the shirt, I wanted to make sure, well, I guess I'll tell a story for the tank tops. When I first did it, I did it just like I was tie-dyeing. So like this, I dyed the whole thing one color, didn't tie it or anything, and then wrapped it in the plastic wrap and left it overnight. Didn't really think it through, because obviously the next day, well, not obviously, because I didn't think about it either when I did it, but it had, like, it was not an even dye, so it had a whole distribution of tones throughout it. It ended up looking real, like, super cool, but it wasn't what I originally intended. So back to Monica, like trying something and hope it turns out. That was definitely one of those times. So that's something to keep in mind if you want to dye something a single color, is if you want it to have different tones and kind of have like swirlies through it, like this would be the way to do it, and wrap it up and leave it overnight. But if you want it truly one color, then you need to stir it. So it's dropping it into a bucket and just stirring it and keep stirring it until it's the color that you want. So I'm thinking for some of these, I might want to do that and just see if I can get some really pretty colors out of it. But I think I'm gonna have to save that for a different day, because I'm realizing it's almost 5 o'clock already. Okay. I'm feeling pretty good about that, though I didn't really check in between, but I think we should be okay. Okay. Whoop. Let me tap that. Okay, now the question is how to tie this up. So I'm gonna try folding these under. And then, yeah, I might have to do it all at the same time, because hopefully I'll be able to then just get it around, and then I might not have to grab another piece of plastic wrap. So let's see if I can get all of those under. There we go. This might have to go under twice. Another option is just cutting them, but since they're reusable, I like to reuse them for different projects. Dang it, dang it, dang it. I was hoping for, I was pushing my luck here. Okay, come on. There we go. There we go. Okay, folding the sides in, and I'm gonna burrito this thing. So fold it over. Over. Yeah, there we go. And just fold it. Questioning whether that's gonna stay or not. Hey Shar, am I still doing the tattoo? I've been wanting to, so I haven't done it since the last live, but I've been wanting to do, like, practice some more and do another live. So maybe next week, I'm thinking. Though I have another project that I've been wanting to do. So I got a, what is it called? A fondue set. Like, oh my God, I'm so excited about this. So I've always wanted a fondue set. So it arrived, and the little skewers that it comes with all look pretty much the same. Like, I don't know why it's designed like that. Like, it has wooden handles, and there are little notches on the side. So that's like 1, 2, 3, and 4 notches, and then like 2 different tones of wood. And it is not clear at all from these tiny little notches, like which is which. So you would definitely end up mixing up, the different skewers. So my thought was, since they're made of wood, I might wood burn them and like do little designs along the handles. So I'm thinking that could be a fun live and just like a way to hang out with y'all on another live. So I think that might be my direct next one. But I do want to do some more tattoo. Do I know how to hold it? I don't know. I mean, I'm probably gonna hold it like the same way. I feel like I got it down. I feel like I was holding it kind of right. Okay. So we have these guys, we have these guys. I'm gonna set these to the side. Let's see if we can get these just right here. And let's check in on the ice dyeing, if I can scooch that over so y'all can see how far that's come in this time. I don't know when we started it. I didn't mark the actual time, but let me move this out of the way so I can slide that over. I just want to knock the mask off. Y'all can see my glorious organization skills. Here we go. Though honestly, you guys are pretty used to it at this point. Okay. This is how we've gotten so far. So this is a case where I might actually grab some more ice and put it on some spots. Because like here, it is not doing much. It's not doing much right there. So let's grab some more ice to hopefully get that melting some. Okay. And then honestly, sometimes I do cheat and just like spray some water on it. So as far as like heating it up to just make it go faster, I haven't done that. So like I said, I want to try that out. But sometimes I will just like from the bucket of ice, just grab some melted water at the bottom and just like splash it to hopefully like distribute some of it. But I'm trying to get this spot to hopefully soak through some more. And what's also neat about ice dyeing is like you can like let it melt and then see if it has enough. Woo. So like what I said when we were working on this is I was worried that we honestly might not have, like normally my concern is having too much dye. But I'm used to doing sweatshirts, or sorry, doing t-shirts. But because it's a sweatshirt, it is much thicker. And so way more material that you have to get through. So now I'm like at the point seeing this and I'm concerned, do I even have enough dye? But I've made that mistake before, put way too much dye on, and then I'm unhappy with the results. So I think what I'm gonna do is just keep it with the ice, let that all melt, and see how that turns out. Okay, let's try. And something else I found, whoops, dang it, is if you hold the ice a little bit against other ice, it like adheres to it. Oh my gosh, y'all stay up so late. Oh my goodness, y'all are too funny. I mean, I guess it's Friday, so that makes sense. But y'all are not kidding when you say you're night owls. Yeah, see, that one's stuck. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you do that and end up knocking over a bench. But yeah, I just hold it on. Dang it! I think I'm trying to hope for too much here. No, 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 don't knock that one off. we go. So yeah, so I might just keep an eye on this and check it every couple of hours or so. It typically takes a few hours to melt. So yeah, you guys mark the time. So it's been at least an hour. Dang it. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna leave that for now. It's been at least an hour, so it's got quite a ways to go. Ow! I really want one there. Come on. Sometimes it can, there we go. Sometimes it can also help to have crushed ice to like fit into little pockets. But I went with the full cubes today. But okay, I think we might stop here and let this guy melt, and I'll keep an eye on it. Don't forget to donate and let me know, message me. I'll keep an eye on it because I might see where the donations come from so that I can get your guys' names on the actual sweatshirt, which will be really cool. So I'll keep adding stuff through all of the month. As I do lives, I'll keep reminding. But yeah, we're gonna let this guy melt. I will post photos hopefully over the weekend on Instagram. And otherwise, I will see y'all on the next live. And y'all should get some sleep. You guys are up late. Oh my gosh. You guys are crazy. Yeah, go to bed, everybody. Go to bed. Except for Monica. Monica, you're with me, so time zone. You're fine. Okay, cool. Have a good weekend, everybody, and I will catch y'all on the next one. Thanks for hanging with me. Take care.